So, you know, I got a package in the mail the other day.
Did you?
From a rubber duck fan named Stephen Bissell.
A fellow rubber duckian.
Yeah, no relation to me. All the way from Texas.
He had been a fan of
And
my...
he was the actor. Did he send you the thing?
Yeah.
Or did the director send you?
No, the actor did.
Oh, the actor did. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the name of the movie was...
The man who
No.
bought a juicer.
No.
No, what was the film called?
The first man who bought a juicer
Yeah.
bought it not for drinking juice?
Yeah, something like that.
If we can't get the title right, then he's not going to be...
The title was actually in Chinese.
Yeah,
Because I believe the
yeah, come
filmmaker seems to have been Chinese.
Yeah, the filmmaker was Chinese.
But
So,
it was subtitled.
and thank you so much, Stephen, for sending that. And anyone out there who has independent films, you can send them and we will talk about them because we appreciate what the independent people are doing.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
And the director of this film obviously had a lot to say. And Nick is going to tell us a little bit about that.
I really enjoyed the film. It was, it's an unusual film. I would say that it's an art film. There's not really much of a plot. It's kind of a series of images of a mechanic. Who,
Played by Steve Bissell.
Played by Steve Bissell. Who's very good, I thought. Very
Yeah,
natural.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any dialogue, but...
Yeah, he doesn't, but he was very natural.
Yeah.
Very natural, and he is kind of working in his shop on these kind of machine parts. He takes them out and cleans them, and then puts them back in, and then... There's a cut to a different location. It's kind of a field where you see this John Deere tractor that's with these big sharp teeth that's kind of harvesting grain, and then the mechanic character appears afterwards to harvest, to collect, to kind of glean the grain that's been... And in between there's some strange images, like a raccoon that's lying dead in the middle of the road getting run over by these cars. So it's, you know, it's kind of avant-garde. It's difficult to tell what's going on. It's very slow-moving. And it reminds me that films don't just exist in order to entertain, or in order to tell simple stories. That art has other purposes. It reminds me of something that, you know, Jackson Pollock, who did the dripping the paint and everything on the canvas, and breaking away from the tradition of using art to represent something or to tell a story. They said, well, there's no, like, you know, this is just a bunch of colors. Like, isn't an artist supposed to depict, you know, the life of humanity?
Right.
And Jackson Pollock, who was working after the wars, which gave him such a bleak and cynical view of human nature, said, well, I'm depicting the inner man, you know, like this is what the landscape of the human soul looks like, but it can't be represented just with regular images.
Wow.
And similarly, around the same time, you had people like Brecht and Adorno, who are either creating art or theorizing about art, saying that art shouldn't just win us over, it shouldn't be easy to watch and like, oh, wasn't that good and entertaining, because that just kind of dupes us into accepting passively, you know, whatever people feed us, whatever propaganda people feed us. And that art should kind of show the fragmented reality of, the fragmentation of reality, and make us sit up and feel alienated and say there's something wrong with human existence.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if the film is doing these things, but it's definitely not just telling a story, it's getting us to sit up and think and ask questions about, you know, what are we seeing in front of us, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So through that thing through the gift shop was kind of also that kind of...
Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Exit Through the Gift Shop was kind of that...
documentary about...
Yeah, about what is art and...
Yeah.
And,
I think so.
And so, so maybe art should not just entertain.
I agree with that completely.
You know, maybe we should come out, you know, with some thinking or, you know, having some thoughts about it. But we appreciate you sending us that, Stephen, and
it was very well made.
Very well made.
Well made.
Yeah,
well
I mean,
acted.
like,
well,
I mean, the acting was
the acting
very
fluid.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dude. What?
Richly textured. A lot of interesting close-ups, whether it's just that you kind of are first introduced to the mechanic with a shot of his eye. And then gradually you see more and more of him until in the end he's collecting this grain, and you see his whole... And then, yeah, it's just really good. There seems to be something about man versus nature. You know, the move from the factory where he's creating these machines, and then into the field where he's kind of in a more savage, primitive state. He's taking his shirt off and he's just collecting this grain like a hunter-gatherer via the transitional images of this raccoon that's lying dead in the road. Here's an animal that's being, you know, savagely run over like again and again and again by our cars. And
wow.
I don't know what the movie was about or what the title was about, but it made me think, and I appreciate it.
So, I would challenge you out there in the audience to watch the movie, to watch the film. It's an interesting film, and to see what your thoughts are on it.